Yes, it's November the 11th, 2021. And before we go any further, I want to say thank you and happy Veterans Day to our servicemen and women out there. We thank you for your service. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy your holiday today. Thank you. Now, moving forward, I want to say welcome back to our subscribers. And if you're new, you just stumbled across the page, stay a while, look around. I got a lot of content here. And if you like what you see, new or returning subscriber, make sure that y'all share the content. It costs you nothing. Share it, like it, leave a comment, whatever. There's no judgment on this. Each one teach one here. So be free, you know. And I make sure like we don't do entertainment news here. We don't talk about the entertainment industry here. Um, we speak on current events, things that are going around locally, nationally, and around the globe. So that's what we do here. But without no further ado, I want to talk about something that came across that I was kind of, it was a former financial director. This came out of the Philadelphia Inquirer. A former financial director of a historical black fraternity pleaded guilty to stealing nearly $3 million. The gentleman's name is Curtis D. Anderson, who over 30 years worked his way up from bookkeeper to director of finances at Kappa Alpha Psi, one of the nation's largest and most influential black college fraternities, pleaded guilty Tuesday to stealing nearly $3 million from the organization. Anderson, 59, of Claremont, Delaware, said little during the hearing before U.S. District Judge Timothy J. Savage, but he previously told investigators he stole the money to fund a gambling habit at a time when he was struggling with alcohol addiction. Attempts to reach the Kappa Alpha Psi officials, whose international headquarters building is on North Broad Street in Philadelphia, were not successful Tuesday. Founded in 1911, the fraternity has more than 125 members with 7 undergraduate and alumni chapters in nearly every state in the nation, and international chapters in Nigeria, South Africa, the West Indies, the United Kingdom, Germany, South Korea, and Japan. Prosecutors said Anderson began stealing from the fraternity back in June of 2012, using checks he either made out to himself or others whose signatures he forged and exchanged them for cash. Santana Bank flagged the unusual transaction and alerted the fraternity back in 2018. So he was doing this since 2012, and then the bank just caught on to it in 2018. Well, he said something. The first time them saying something was 2018. Wow. So, wow. Dang, that's crazy. And in all, Anderson cashed 78 fraudulent checks at Santana Bank and 40 at Wells Fargo Bank. Assistant U.S. Attorney Mary Crawley told the judge Anderson was fired back in December 2018 after fraternity officials discovered the missing money and confronted him. Anderson then confessed, telling his bosses he was struggling with gambling and alcohol addiction, and he spent most of the money at Harrah's casino. He was formally charged in October of 2020. So man, this was going on for a while, man. During Tuesday's hearing, Anderson pleaded guilty to 4 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. Savage set sentencing for February 22nd, 2022, and allowed Anderson to remain free until then. While he will be given credit for taking responsibility for his actions and helping the Justice Department with his investigation of him, the judge warned Anderson that there was no guarantee on the sentence he would impose. The judge noted that the maximum sentence could be as high as 82 years in prison and a fine of more than $1 million. Federal sentencing guidelines call for a term of between 5 to 6 years in prison. Crawley said after the hearing, he stole nearly $3 million from his former employer that had placed him in a position of trust as a director of finance. She said, it was a long-standing fraud scheme to embezzle from his employer over a period of many years. He reaped the benefit of that. Anderson's lawyer, Brian J. Ziegler, said Anderson is in treatment for his gambling and drinking addiction. He's a really nice guy, he said. It's really a shame. Yeah, well, the nice guy is going to jail. That's a lot of money you're spending. You can imagine that $3 million. That's from. They said they had 125 members. That is members pledging and put and hard-earned sweat and blood money that was giving people, being a part of this fraternity. They give up. It's been hard-earned money given into this fraternity, and this gentleman right here is he's a nice guy, and you're gonna steal that money there? For people who, and it's people who take pride in that fraternity, and you're gonna steal like that. Yeah, you need to go ahead and lock him up, throw away the key, and he need to sit down and think about what he done, I'm pretty sure it's all types of men that's in that fraternity, that's from all backgrounds, that's in different fields, law and doctors and counseling and all types, okay, I can imagine, and that's in sports, everything. He could have reached out to them, he had his hands, he's working for one of the top fraternities, and he had access to all he needed as far as help. He didn't have to help himself to their money, and he could have got help from them, but no, he chose to steal. He chose to steal. So yeah, Mr. Anderson, you go have a seat somewhere, and God bless you. You got a long time to think about stealing from somebody and how much money you stole, and what did that get you? All right, so moving on. Guilford County school students are being told to dress warmly. The heat is on. All right. So I talked about this some weeks ago. You got. Let me get the volume down here, y'all. So the schools, the heating system is old. That's just it. The HVAC system is old, and that's just the bottom line. And this is just a result of the kick in the can, because they talk about how it's not so easy you just can't cut it off and cut it on. The water's got to warm up and all of this. What are you talking about? We're in the 21st century here. This is the result of kicking the can. And then now you see all the funding that's coming down. And this is going on around the country, okay? You got the funding they getting from the government now when we talk about Guilford County schools here. And I can speak on that because I reside in Guilford County, as many of you already know, in Guilford County, North Carolina. So it's just a result of the kick in the can, because now all of this funding is coming down from the government for the education system. And now they're trying to do all of these projects. They want to get all of this money and fix all of these things it's not going to be fixed overnight. And it's just come from poor planning that should have been things that should have been getting, as the years went going on, things should have been getting upgraded. It never got done. It never got done. So now they're trying to rush, and they want to put these large amounts of money on a bond, and they want to try to their main target number is 1.7 billion dollars or something like that. They're trying to put it on a bond, and they want to gain all of this money to fix these projects that are not just going to be fixed overnight, and it's going to take years to fix these issues in the schools. And like I said before in past videos, these schools in Guilford County are, no exaggeration, are 50 plus years old. Understand me? Some of these children, their great grandparents went to these schools, okay? And these schools look the same when their great grandparents were in there. You understand what I'm saying? And they never fixed it. So they should be ashamed of themselves. In any school system around the country, they need to be ashamed of themselves. So that's why now they have these school systems. They're trying to take advantage of the money that they know that's coming down the pipeline. They're trying to grab onto it, and they want to get all of this stuff. You know, they want, oh, we need this. Like Guilford County got a whole list. But this is money. These are things that you should have been fixing over time. These things should have been getting fixed. So they're saying, oh, it's not that easy as you think. Well, it could have been that easy to just hit hot, cold, you know, it's the winter time now. Yeah, we understand, last week, even this week here, you had the funny weather where, last week it was very cold. And then this week we jumped up into the 70s. But the morning time it'd be really chilly, and at night up until wee hours in the morning, it's really chilly in the 40s, the 30s, the high 30s, it can be in the mornings. But then as the day progresses, it can get up to the 70s. That's what's been happening this week. But still, you should be able to control that. There's no excuse for that. I ain't even trying to hear none of the excuses for it, because we're in the 21st century. Period. So that's just what's going on. So all the schools around Guilford County, hey, I don't know what to say. This is just the result. But again, you have somebody like Sharon Contreras that's a superintendent of schools that, okay, you have a lot of people praising this woman, and I'm trying to figure out why. Obviously, you people haven't done your research, and I've been talking about it for a long time. Just check Syracuse, where she came from. The same behavior she's showing here is what she's done in Syracuse, New York. That's why they got up out of there. That's exactly why she ran up out of there. She didn't give them time to fire her, because the new board that came in was going to fire her. But she got up out of there before that. She was swift enough to get up out of there before they actually slammed the hammer down on her, and then she winded up here, and all who's responsible for bringing her here, they all need to take some accountability for this, because no, you can't blame her for these years and years of kicking the can, but you could blame her for the years that she's been in there, hasn't done anything, and now all of a sudden, this money that's coming down, they're trying to run and reach for this money. But at the end of the day, the money that they're going to get, and this goes for all the schools around the nation. If there's money coming down the pipeline for your school system, superintendents get a certain amount of time and to oversee the schools, and school board members can come and they getting shifted around. You know how that goes. So they can all try to go for that money now, but if the next person that comes in as a superintendent of school, and the next group of people that come in for school boards don't stay on the same page, it's just that whatever issues your school district have, they're gonna continue to be. And that is the prime example, and that is what has happened here in Guilford County. Prime example. That is what happened here. It's the kick in the can. That's why I say the kick in the can effect. And that's all that's been happening. So, Sharon Contreras will be out of there. I don't even understand. It's amazing to me how they extended her contract. It's amazing, and it's a slap in the people's face. But until everyone in Guilford County stands up like other counties, school districts around the country, parents are going there and they're protesting and they're getting these superintendents out of there. Case in point, Lawton, Virginia. The parents went around, the group went around, and they got signatures, and they got parents on board. They opened the parents' eyes to what was really going on, and got that superintendent out of there. They had 100% support from parents in the community, and just the community period. They had the support, you know, and that's what has to be done. People around the country are going into these school boards and see they're trying this narrative like everyone's coming and being irate. And as I said in the last video, see, they know what's going on. They don't want to hear from the parents at these school board meetings. They're trying to create this narrative that everyone's coming there irate. But if you're not listening to the parents, and we can't have adult conversations, and adults are standing in front of you talking to you about their children, and you're seeming to be sitting there, and you're seeming to be like you're not even hearing them, and you're not, and the parents not seeing anything change, and they've been seeing the same thing for years, there's going to be frustration there. You have to be able to be adults and talk about these situations. You have these school board members hiring sheriff officers, beefing up security for school board meetings. Why? If you know how to talk, if you can talk, and if you would talk and show respect, you wouldn't have those issues there. All of a sudden now, this school year, now we all around the country, school boards, it's just a trend. They're all trying to follow this trend because they don't want to answer the questions of the parents. You got a lot of people sitting in there and they don't know what they're doing. So the parents are coming with valid questions. They just can't answer them. And instead of them just being honest and saying, hey, I don't know, we're trying to do all that we can, respect, show respect. But when you beef up security, what are you doing when you have beefing up security and having metal detectors and all of these things for people to come to for parents to come to a school board meeting? You're doing all of this, doing a whole vetting process for a school board meeting. When you do all of that, you're setting the tone. You're actually bringing and causing the tension in the room when you do things like that. If you were respecting the public, you wouldn't have these problems. That's just like when a business comes in the neighborhood. You come into the neighborhood, you know the type of neighborhood you're coming into. Respect the people there. If you want to do business there, you want to respect the people there on all levels. And what's going on here is disrespect. The parents are feeling disrespected all around the country. And as I said in the last video, if you just pay attention to what's going on, and even all the issues that I've been presenting over the weeks and months, at the end of the day, the people are yelling and saying the same thing in all instances. Respect. People want to be respected. Show respect. But you being disrespectful, and then you beef up security, that just drives people through the roof. We have to be have sympathy for what's going on and what parents had to deal with as well. The teachers, everyone in the school system, everyone had to deal with something. We all are all human, and everyone come and dealt in this pandemic something that they never had to deal with before. So everybody, their tension levels are high. But if we are adults, we have to be able to step back and we should be able to talk with each other. So what happens as these children see all of this stuff going on with the adults in the education system? What happens? What happens to their mental, and how you think they feeling about education? What do you think the long-term effects are going to be? And the children step back and see all of this bickering and fighting amongst adults about education. And you have these adults trying to push their theories on children with this critical race theory. Like you putting children in the middle of something that should have been an adult conversation. What do you think is going to happen? See, as I said before, everybody was thinking about themselves, and nobody never really stepped back and thought about these children. And that is the problem with the adults are having, the parents are having, because they're standing up. We're standing up for our children. We're standing in front of our children as we should. And you folks are sitting there as if the parents are beneath you. Last I thought, the people can get you guys out of there. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna move on from that right there. Cause I want to show y'all something. Like, people have to know their job. That is another problem out here today. People forgot their roles. People actually forget when it comes to even when we think to retail, even when we every level, a lot of people in different fields in the workplace have forgotten their roles. Like, know what your job title is, know what you're there for, and do your job. Okay? Do your job. Because let's be clear, at the end of the day, whatever job field you're in, when someone's coming to you for assistance and understanding, no one cares about what you're dealing with. They're coming to you for assistance. No one cares what you're dealing with. They're not caring about your feelings. F your feelings. Wake up. No one's ever told you this. Whatever job field you're in, if you are assisting the public, whatever job field you're in, you're assisting the public. Okay, so when the public comes to you for assistance, they don't care about what you dealt with last night and what happened to you last night. They don't care what you ate last night. They don't care who you slept with last night. They don't care about none of that. What they care about is what they need. It sounds selfish, but that's what you're there for, to help. Do your job, know your job, and everything, and show respect and compassion, and everything will be fine. You see, some people could come to you irate, right? But if you know how to talk to people, you can minimize the situation. You can calm it down if you know how to talk. See, if you're gonna help the people, you should know how to talk to the people. And I'm gonna just leave that right there. So everything that we seeing that's going around the country, poor leadership, point blank, period. Poor leadership within these school boards, and this pandemic, as I said it 100 times, have pulled back the sheet on a lot of things wrong in this country. Everything wrong in this country has come to the surface due to the pandemic. And I'm going to say this again. I feel like the Most High created and presented this pandemic because if he came like he wanted to come, no one would understand it. So he had to get everybody to sit down somewhere and pay attention to something and know what matters in life. So what happened during the pandemic? Some people were forced to sit down. Things had to run. So the country to keep the world to keep moving. So they created non-essential and essential. So through that, okay, through that was the essential was only the things you needed: food, shelter, clothing, warmth. That's it. That's all you were able to really do when you step back and look at the grand scheme of it all. Everything else outside of that was leisure. Okay? It wasn't needed. So people got a chance to sit down, understand themselves. He gave you the opportunity to sit down and understand yourself and your family. You know what I mean? And understand what's going on right now, who's really in control. Okay, some of you might think, oh, the government was in control. No, the government really was out of control because they just threw money at things and threw money out here, and then the funds are just being misused all around the country. And so much so that we're gonna get into it right now. All right, school districts are wasting money. This comes from The Hill. This is The Hill. This is a publication called The Hill. All right, school districts are wasting COVID funds. All right. So we're going to get into this, and that's around the country. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant and lasting impact on tens of millions of students across the nation. According to July 21st, 2021, McKinsey and Company report, students lost on average 5 months of math and 4 months of reading, which will lead to lower lifetime income of at least $49,000 and reduced annual economic growth of at least $128 billion. That's what they saying. Through the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security CARES Act, the December 2020 COVID package, and the American Rescue Plan Act, Congress approved $190.5 billion in aid to school districts. Notably, the entire Department of Education budgets for fiscal year 2020 and 2021 were $72.7 billion and $73.6 billion, respectively. The funds from each bill are being distributed in accordance with Title I of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. In an effort to address the unfinished learning cited by McKinsey, federal guidelines require local education agencies to allocate at least 20% of the $122.7 billion provided in ARPA for learning and recovery. Given serious consequences of the pandemic on both students and Given the serious consequences of the pandemic on both the students and the economy, every penny of these funds must be spent effectively and efficiently. But the massive increase in available funds and insufficient oversight has led to many school districts throwing money at projects unrelated to recovering from the pandemic, including sports facilities and urban bird sanctuaries. Yeah, urban bird sanctuaries. That's what they spending the COVID relief funds for. That's not what that money supposed to be going to. The money was supposed to be going to the education, upgrading your broadband system, everything that you do, security, teachers pay, that's where it's supposed to be going to. All this other stuff, you're hearing about it, but I'm gonna tell you something. In the next 2 years, at least by 2023, mark my word, because when the government threw this money out there at the beginning of the pandemic, okay, about March, late February, between late February and late March, when the funds start coming out around the country, they just threw money out there. It was all in a panic because they knew they didn't want you. You got to remember, we had different protests going on around the country, from police brutality and everything like that. So the country was already on the edge. So they knew if they did not step up and do their due diligence and put some money out during that time, it was going to be hell to pay. And the disaster and the cost would have been far than what they wind up putting out in just that first year. So you look at that they just threw out money, right? So they threw the money out. All of a sudden, when the government, when Trump at the time, because he was in office, he said, yeah, we're gonna give money to the states. We got aid coming. All of a sudden, you heard every state around the country start saying, oh, we need this. Oh, we need that. Everybody start putting things that they should have been getting fixed or should have been taken care of. They start throwing that out in their budget. They need this, they need that. Well, if you know you needed it, why you never got it? Why you never took care of it? So everybody looked at the pandemic, when you think about the education system, when you think about these states, they look at those funds as a free for all. And everybody ran and they jumped to those funds. And then when you think about the school districts, oh, we need this, we need that. Well, you've been needed that. So now you're gonna use the money for that now. You're gonna use the money for that, but it's gonna take you It's gonna take you years. Some of these folks that's sitting in these offices, that the school boards and superintendent of schools, they're not even gonna be there in these offices to see if any of these projects get done. They're not even gonna be there. But it's a good way to make people think like, hey, we're trying to get the money. No, it's something you should have been did. Don't blame it on this money right here, on this COVID relief funds. No. There's a relief fund because of a pandemic. Don't blame it on that. This is something you guys should have been done your education systems around the country. So they're spending money on frivolous things. Like, and one of the most stunning examples, we still on the hill, and one of the most stunning examples of relief fund abuse, the Whitewater, Wisconsin School Board voted to allocate 80% of its $2 million in elementary and secondary school emergency relief, aka ESSER grant, toward the construction of a synthetic turf football field, baseball, and softball. When asked why the funds should be used for athletic fields instead of educational projects, Whitewater High School Athletic Director Justin Crandall told the school board that he did not envision his district as one that would go to a referendum for turf fields. Rather than put Crandall's theory to the test, the school board decided instead to bill the American people for the project. So you see what I'm saying? That money could have went to something in the education. And I guarantee you that same school district, they're going to be crying wolf in a couple of years about they need something else when they had the money and they should have put that money to what they actually needed. A freaking football field. Who's thinking about sports when school is they're on a wire? You don't even know what may happen next month if they will go back to remote learning. You don't know what is going to happen, but you asking for a turf field? There was no sports last year, buddy, and you asking for a turf field, man. In South Texas, McAllen Independent School District Board of Trustees allotted $4 million in ESSER relief funds to facilitate the expansion of the city-owned Quinta Mazatlán Nature Center. Although the district cited the rare opportunity provided by Authentic Science Lab right here in our backyard, the proposal received heavy criticism from district parents. One parent, Tori Guerrera, rightfully questioned how the sanctuary was related to student recovery. Because the project won't be completed until 2024, she observed. Half the kids won't even get to reap the benefit of the nature center. Exactly. In Douglas County, Colorado, the school board spent $800,000 on Ingenuity, an online learning platform, and a no-bid emergency procurement. Rather than use local teachers, the platform utilized pre-recorded classes for students to watch. After a period of delays that was nothing short of chaos, students were finally able to begin using the online platform at the end of August. Teachers and students were highly critical of the program. One student's grandmother reported that her grandchild had 4 different teachers in 5 days, while another parent described it as bait and switch. The district stopped using Ingenuity several weeks into the school year, but did not receive a refund. So they just wasted taxpayer money. They just wasted that government money. They spent $800,000 on a program, and they wasted it. And I just told y'all the other day, Douglas County they're having issues in Douglas County anyway. You got teachers calling out, the teacher's not going to work Friday. So, that program actually, like the one parent said, the bait and switch, that program actually, they probably was trying to use that program because they knew they were shorthanded on teachers, and they probably wanted to use that as, a program to teach the children due to their teacher shortage. So that's what that probably was, but it backfired on them. You wasted $800,000 and you didn't even get a refund for it. Not even half. You didn't even get 50% of that money back. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, there's going to be some charges brought up on some of these school districts because they think the government just going to give them that money and ain't nothing else going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, the country been in shambles for, we going on 2 years now due to this pandemic. And I'm telling you, when they get themselves back on track, they're gonna spin the block again, right? They're gonna come back around and they're gonna start doing some they're gonna do they're gonna start doing some audits. I'm telling you, we think this is the last of it. I'm telling you, we're gonna hear some stuff. All right, so moving on. With students struggling to recover from the pandemic, the nation cannot afford to waste any of the money allocated for education. Unfortunately, the ability of districts to develop a workaround to avoid reporting requirements means that billions allocated through the three bills are at risk. The abuse of education funds raises serious concerns about the scope of waste, fraud, and abuse present in other projects funded through COVID relief programs. The report of abuse and mismanagement should provide a stark warning to legislators and policymakers as they prepare to allocate the remainder of the American Rescue Plan Act funds and upspend funds from the two other bills in their 2022 legislative session, along with tens of billions of dollars included in the Human Infrastructure bill being considered in Congress. Without proper oversight and planning, the use of federal funds for stadiums, urban sanctuaries, and other wasteful projects may just be the tip of the iceberg. True. And I said this early on. So I'm just going to give an example of Guilford County, North Carolina. So you just heard me, and I just read this here from The Hill. This publication is actually out of DC. Okay. So now you have Guilford County. So we hearing about these ESSER funds and everything, right? In Guilford County, we have all the money and everything of that nature. But what is Guilford County talking about doing? They're misusing the funds. They're talking about building more schools. That's not what that money's for. That money, those funds, the COVID relief is supposed to be for right now. Things right now that need it right now. Not nothing in the future. Not your projects that you should have been done years ago. You're trying to put them on that. And see, that's what that is. That's fraud. You're frauding a system. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. And the government's going to spin the block. They're going to come back. And we will be revisiting this again, because the government, by a publication putting it out there, the government already known it was going to be a problem. But now it's being talked about. It's on their radar, and they're gonna come back around when they get themselves in order. They're gonna come back around. You got to remember, we went through a pandemic. We were going through a transition of presidents. You know what I mean? The country is in an uproar and a chaos. So before they can when they can get back to handling the issues that need to be handled right now, it's gonna be something. That's all I have to say. It's gonna be something, you know. But like I said, Guilford County, even in my county here, just take a step back at your county and see what they're actually spending their money on. See what they're actually spending those funds on, because we all know when they said the COVID relief fund for the education system, it was supposed to be for right now, not for things later on, years down the line. No projects. How is a student that's in school now, they were affected by the COVID, they don't receive nothing. They don't get the new upgraded system or nothing. Certain things, you want to build a new school. Well, this student right here ain't gonna be able to enjoy that new school or any upgrades you trying to do to the school. It's gonna take years to do it, right? They're not gonna enjoy it. It was supposed to be for right now, what's needed in your school right now, not for no projects later on. And you're hearing about these future projects. They're even using the money, the COVID relief fund, on future projects. That's not what they're supposed to be doing with it. And this is in Guilford County and around the country. And if you step back and pay attention, this is one of the arguments that's been had. Why are you doing this and why are you doing that? Why are you not paying why are you not paying the school bus drivers? Why are the teachers not getting raises? Right now, why is Guilford County the only county that all the other surrounding counties in North Carolina, their teachers have gotten raises. That's the counties that surround Guilford County, that's neighboring right next door, left, right of the county. They've given their teachers raises. Guilford County, the biggest school district this side of the state. You haven't given your teachers a raise. Now they gave some teachers some type of, it was a bonus. The beginning of the school year, they were giving out bonuses trying to attract teachers. They were giving the more experienced teachers bonuses or whatever. Whatever. If you're in the school district in Guilford County, drop a comment and let us know, and enlighten us on what that was about. I don't remember quite how that went, but still, overall, teachers didn't get a bonus. They didn't get a bonus. So you have other districts that are getting bonuses and everything, but they're not giving out nothing in Guilford County. They still sitting here twirling in their fingers when they got a whole lot of money, and they've been talking about this $300 million, what they're going to use it on, but actually they have gotten more than that. I told you guys before the $300 million, they got $229 million back in the spring, early spring of this year of 2021. So they actually had a total of $529 million. But they keep talking only about this $300 million. Where is the $229 million? Matter of fact, where is the $10.1 million that they got from the schools that was damaged in the tornado back in 2018? That was Peeler, Hampton, and Irwin Montessori. I keep asking that question. Where is that money at? And you add that on top of the $529 million. Add that $10 million on top of the $529 million. That's $539 million. Where is it at? Where is all of the money at? Okay? So, but you sitting here and you're not giving the teachers this raise. So I'm gonna read this from Fox 8 and we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Neighboring school districts have approved staff bonuses. Will Guilford County Schools follow suit? This is from Fox 8. Okay. Congress set aside about $13.2 billion for the elementary and secondary school emergency relief fund. Funds are meant to support schools by providing emergency relief and alleviate some of the strain schools are seeing from the COVID-19 pandemic. While not all of GCS neighboring school districts are using ESSA funds directly to pay for bonuses, some are using local funds for bonuses so they can prioritize ESSA funds for other projects. Either way, these bonuses would not be possible without the additional funding. The school districts that have approved bonuses say they are meant to reward teachers for staying as part of an effort to improve staff's retention. Yes, that's what it's for. Part of it. What's GCS doing with the money? We've been asking this question. This is from Fox 8. We've been asking this question. I've been asking this question for months. As of Tuesday morning, Guilford County Schools have not announced any bonuses for staff, but Tuesday's meeting agenda includes time for discussion on staff bonuses. Board member Deborah Napper is listed as the lead in that discussion. Guilford County Schools has, however, begun offering sign-on bonuses with hopes of recruiting new employees. In July, Guilford County Schools announced a $20,000 signing bonus available for newly hired teachers. There are specific criteria that they must meet, and they must agree to work for 3 years in one of the district's lowest performing schools. The bonus is available to teachers who can show consecutive years of student growth data. This bonus is just one step in our plan to recruit, retain, and reward our staff, says Kyva Jones, GCS Director of Recruiting in July. We know that stellar teachers can make the greatest difference in our students' academic recovery, and those teachers deserve to be paid accordingly. Okay, I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to go through something else and I'm going to break down this budget for y'all. You should be giving bonuses to any teacher that's coming into your district at this time. Okay? You should be giving bonuses and raises to any teacher that's still there presently right now. The money was given to you specifically for things that are needed right now. not for your later projects. You guys are trying to keep the money, hold on to it, and do what you want to do with it later instead of doing what you should do with it right now. And it ain't for you to take the money and hold on to the money, but you want to attract more teachers and you think you're going to keep skimming. How are you skimming off of something the government gave you? how are you trying to ration out what the government gave you the money exactly for? Explain this to me. You wanna go get money in the name of education and do what you want to do with it. You're getting money because of the students. Let's remember that, okay? Because of the students, the reason why you're getting the money. Then you have the teachers. You need the teachers. So that money should be taken care of what the teachers and the students need now, not later. Right now. That's what the money was for. Right now. They didn't give you that money. They gave it to you. It was a pandemic. They gave it to you because of the pandemic. What's needed right now? What was lost? Not what you trying to gain in the future. What you lost. What was lost? Students are home. Students were going to be home. Remote learning. Upgrade your broadband systems. All of that. Now. What you could do right now is upgrade them the food and nutrition that cruddy food you're serving. That got the kids up here, 45 kids in Boonville, North Carolina. All the sixth graders in the school, sick, stomach, curled over. I showed you the video. I talked about it in the last video. Okay, you know why? That poor food sit in your stomach like a whole brick. Come on, man. Do what's right what y'all need to do with that money, man. That's all. Look, in addition to funding for educational materials, closing the digital divide and reopening schools, Guilford County Schools is putting more than $50 million in ESSA funds towards recruiting, retaining, and rewarding high effective staff. This includes $32.8 million for recruitment and retention incentives for high-need subject areas and low-performing schools, $3.4 million for teachers residencies for math, $1.7 million for tuition assistance for classified and support staff, alternative pathways for teachers, $750,000 for support for human resource recruitment efforts, $11.5 million for partnerships to retain high-quality teachers. All right, what are the school districts doing? Okay, these are the surrounding school districts that are around Guilford County. Alamance and Burlington school systems, they're giving out $3,000 one-time bonus to full and part-time employees, $500 for substitutes who work 20 days before November the 30th. Davidson County Schools, they're giving out $4,500 one-time bonus for full-time employees according to Winston-Salem Journal. Randolph County Schools, they're giving up $5,000 to all full-time staff, portion of that part-time depending on how much they work. $2,500 sign-on bonus, $1,000 bonus for subs depending on how much they work. Now let's think about this here. These counties that I'm running off to you right now, they're smaller than this county. And you see what they're doing? Let's go on. So we got Rockingham. They're giving $4,000 for all staff split between this year and next year. Okay. Now for Forsyth County, what's the selling for Forsyth County? That's another big county there. You know, and look at what they're doing. Forsyth County, Winston-Salem, they're giving $1,000 for all staff approved in October. Okay? They already approved it. December, $700 for teachers, $500 for all other employees. In May, $700 for teachers, $500 for all other employees. They're giving something. Guilford County, what the are you doing? You ain't giving up nothing, but you want to gain something. You got to spend something. You got to spend money to make money. You got to spend something to get something. You got to entice the people. You talking about putting money in a fund to do this and that and the third. No. How about put the money out there for people that right now. Right now. And another thing, and I'm going to close this out. You got the county, the city, they have these funds. Pay your workers. Pay your workers that were working throughout the pandemic. Pay them. I don't understand how you people think. If You are a county commissioner, anything around this country, a mayor, whatever, a governor. You need to be making sure your people, not just the state workers, all around your state, county, and city workers. You need to be on top of them. If you're the mayor of these whatever state in this country, you need to be on top of your. If you're the governor, you need to be on top of your mayors around your state. And if you know that you gave a certain city and state and they got funding, you need to see to it that they paying their workers. And they stop doing what they want to do with the money and do what they know what they need to do with the money. See, everybody trying to be slick with the money and they're trying to put the funds aside and do what they want to do. We not stupid out here. See what's going on, okay? And people are protesting throughout the school system because of respect and money. Pay them respectfully. Pay them. They working. You need them, and you know you need them. Don't wait till the people walk out and then want to come to the conclusion you're playing games. Sit down as adults and do what's right, respectfully. Respect the people that are working for you. Pay them respectfully. That's it. Why keep playing these games when the money is there? Everybody knows the money is there. We can read. People get emails knowing what the government is doing, how much money their state has been allocated, how much is being shoved out through these counties throughout the states. Yeah. If you haven't, you need to get locked in your state and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of money coming down the pipeline to these states. A lot of money. A lot of money. And to close out right now, you talking about the infrastructure bill. There's a many things in there that like I said, I'm in the transportation industry. Many of you may already know that. And I've been around the country, different parts of the country and over the road. And the roads and everything been getting built and bridges, everything for the last 15 years. Even when President Obama was in there, they were cutting the checks for infrastructure. They've been talking that. So around the country that's been fixed. So for now, when they're talking about putting that in there again, I'm trying to wonder, it's still states that are still fixing certain bridges and roads. They've been fixing them for years. You giving up money again to do what? For the same thing that they're already fixed. So we just throwing money away again. Money is just being thrown away. Even when they're talking about the small business loan, they're talking about money being thrown away with that. They're just throwing money. They're just throwing money away. It's just a whole piss party with this money. And it's going to spin back around in the next few years. You just wait. It's all going to come back. And we're going to hear about it again. We're going to continue to hear about the money that's been spent and lost for the next decade. And then a lot of people that had projects planned, and a decade from now, we're going to still hear they ain't get done. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your guy, Rashawn. This is Space of Edits TV. I'm gone. Make sure y'all lock in on Friday. Today is November the 11th, 2021. But on Friday, we're going to have another show. Like I said, we're going to talk family. We're going to talk about the sex trafficking. We're gonna go deep on this one, and I'm gonna have some co-hosts with me, so it's not just gonna be me, because I want different perspectives on this. So y'all make sure y'all stay locked and tuned into that. That's gonna be a good show. But that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gone.